Hi, good morning to you. This is Darren from EnglishTuition.org. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about the effects of being strict. In some previous videos, you might have seen some of my thoughts on the disciplinary options that we have and about being overprotective. So how about being overly strict? What are the effects when we are overly strict to a child? Of course, there will be some negative consequences that arises out of being overly strict with a child. For example, the child may become very sad and depressed, and in the worst case scenario, a child may even try to commit suicide. But if that doesn't happen, okay, and a child grows up, and because of these constraints that are being put on the child, okay, eventually the child becomes rebellious, right? They want to rebel against authority, right? They want to have their voices heard. So that is just one undesirable consequence that we want to avoid. Now, I'm saying this from personal experience because I remember when I was doing my teaching stints in a government school. Okay, there's this colleague of mine. Because at that point I was a new teacher, right? So I was attached to the more experienced, full-fledged, NIE trained teachers, okay, to observe their teaching. And this particular colleague of mine stood out because all she could do, right, was to go to the class every single lesson and just blast the class. Okay, every single lesson she had to nitpick at everything that the child or the students do, okay, and then the entire class will become very quiet, right? And the mood is always dampened. Now keep in mind that the teacher did that for every single lesson, okay? So needless to say, the students didn't really enjoy the lesson, right? They comply with the instructions out of fear, alright? And I understand that the teacher wants to have a high degree of control, right? Because without control, it is almost impossible to be able to conduct the lesson. Okay, but personally, I feel that we have to strike a balance between, being lenient and being strict. Okay, there are times we need to be lenient. Okay, so that to keep the relationship healthy. Okay. And there are times when the child overstep the boundaries, okay, we have to let the child know this is not the time, okay, to misbehave. Alright? So, it depends a lot on the judgment of the adults to assess the situation and to decide whether, if it's time to be lenient or if it's time to be strict. Okay, when I conduct my English lessons, I'm not always strict and I'm not always lenient. Alright, sometimes I'm very strict. Like for example, when I'm teaching, okay, I do need students to cooperate with me. And if they want to ask questions, they have to raise their hands instead of just interrupting all the time, right? If they keep doing that, then it disrupts the flow of the lessons. Okay, and I have to let the students know. Okay, and sometimes they forget, so I have to remind them. Alright. And there are times when they finish an important exam, they do not feel like they want to be doing some work, right? Then maybe we can make the lesson a little bit lighthearted. We can have some discussion, okay, talk about the lessons, talk about the content, and even if they come back, homework is not done, for that few lessons, right? I cut them some slack. So we are able to sustain this healthy teacher-student relationship, okay, from the mid to long-term basis, right? So I do not believe in being overly strict, okay? So there's a tendency for teachers and parents, right, to either swing one way or the other, right? If they're too lenient, right? My kids are my friends. We are the best friends, okay? We can share anything we want, right? I think we should not take such extreme measures. We want to be friends with the kids, with the child, okay, but to a certain extent, okay, they still have to respect us as the authority, okay. Otherwise, without this boundary, okay, they are just going to overstep, this boundary all the time, and then we are going to have problems, right? And if you swing the pendulum all the way to the other end, okay, like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video, right? Then we are going to experience some problems as well, right? Students are going to grow rebellious. They're going to grow, tired of being constrained all the time. So it takes good judgment, okay, and that is something that I think a lot of many teachers find hard to do, okay, because where is this balance, right? Because every child is different, okay. I think it takes a bit of time, okay, for both the teacher and the student to adjust to the style, to each other's style, and always advise parents, right, especially when the student is new, okay, and then they get a bit panicky because they are not seeing the result within 2 or 3 months, right, as quickly as they would like. 2 or 3 months, of tuition is a very short amount of time, okay, because they only come for 1 lesson per week. So 2 months, I've only seen the students 8 times, right? And even 3 months, 12 times, that's still not a lot, right? Compared to the amount of language lessons that they have in school, right? Usually schools have English lessons almost every day, right? 3 to 4 days at least. Okay, so they see the English teachers a lot more. So I would like parents, always tell parents that, be patient. We have done this many times over, okay, and we should be able to see good results in at least 5 to 6 months. Then they will see that they have a stronger foundation and they are able to cope with higher level exercises, right? So that's all I have to say for this video, right? Try to strike a balance between being lenient and being strict, and overall I think we are going to see students adopt a healthier learning attitude. Okay, so yep, I think that's the end of the video. Yeah, so if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, just give it a thumbs down, and leave your comments below. I will read them, and of course, if I can, I will always try to reply to the comments. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and I will see you around.